On this episode of Sauce and Hench, we discuss Carson Wentz potentially going to the Chicago Bears and our predictions for Super Bowl 55. Sauce and Hench, it's coming up. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of Sauce and Hench. I'm Sauce, and down there, 6 feet away from me, is Hench.
Hey, we're back. This feels good, man.
Yeah, man, I get to see you all the way down there.
I know. Like, holy cow. We've been going on Zoom for how many weeks? 11 episodes?
It was a good 2 months,
Yeah.
December and January. But now today is the big day, Super Bowl 55. I can't hardly wait. But before we can get there, our favorite team, as everyone knows, the Chicago Bears, has been in the middle of trade rumors for Philadelphia Eagles Carson Wentz. And you and I both tweeted yesterday that we wouldn't mind that.
No.
Joe, what was your reason why you wouldn't mind Carson Wentz going to the Bears?
Before we even started this podcast today, we even talked about how I think he just gets a lot of people look at his 2020 season, and that's it for some reason. When the dude was legit an MVP candidate before he got injured that one year, the Super Bowl run year.
Right.
Where, funny thing, Foles capped it off with winning the Super Bowl.
And he's in the rumors are going back.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's a legit quarterback, and he's one of those guys that just maybe needs a change of scenery with how screwed up the Eagles system is with everything that's going on. I mean, you could even see in the last game of the season with Kelsey sitting there, and Wentz was sitting there, and Ertz were sitting there after the final game of the season, all thinking, this probably is the last time we're playing together as a trio. And it's because the system got so screwed up just from just top to bottom. So I just think he's a guy that legit needs a change of scenery, and I just don't get I don't get why fans would be mad. There's so many bad reactions compared to good reactions yesterday, and I think that's simply just because everybody saw that we were in on Watson, and everybody wants Watson right now. Me included, I would love to have Watson on the Bears. But I wouldn't be mad if we ended up trading for Wentz, because the one thing that I've said this whole time was I want the Bears to be aggressive, and aggressive in a good way, going after a quarterback that has proven it. In my opinion, if you sit back and look at Wentz's career, he's had more good seasons than bad.
Right.
His only bad season is this past year.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
And if you look at this team around him, you can't really blame him. So, I mean, his best receiver is Alshon Jeffrey.
It's not even Alshon this year. Some guy named Travis Fulgham.
Yeah. So, and I don't even know who that is, to be honest.
He had 38 receptions on 67 targets, and he led the team in receptions and receiving yards.
Yeah. So, you look at a guy, and it's like, his legit only bad season is this past year.
Right.
And you can't really judge it as a bad season with what was around him and the system that he was in. So you look at all his previous seasons, and he's a quarterback that has proven it and proven that he can be he's not even just an average quarterback. He's an above average quarterback. And for me, that's a guy that I would take a chance on if I was the Bears.
Right. And for me, if you get put in a better situation is a big word I use for football. Like Justin Herbert with the Chargers, he was in a better situation than Joe Burrow was, and you see how that turned out for both of them. If Carson Wentz can get out of that situation in Philly where he has no receivers, people forget that a quarterback is only as good as open as receivers are. You can't throw a perfect pass 10 out of 10 times. It's just impossible. Yes. But when you get paid that much money, he's getting paid 4 years, $128 million. You're going to start forcing things, wanting to make the big plays. He got sacked 50 times because he held the ball a lot, trying to make the big play because no one is getting open. And you point your fingers at the coach who got fired, Doug Peters. Then you can point your finger at Carson Wentz because the quarterbacks and head coaches always get however the season goes, they get the credit. It could go terrible and they get the credit. It could go great and they get the credit. But at what point do we stop and say it's the GM's fault? The GM drafted some guy named Justin Rager, one pick ahead of Justin Jefferson. And Justin Jefferson had the best rookie receiving yard season. So it's a guy named Randy Moss. Have you ever heard of him?
No, I've never heard of Randy Moss.
And then they went on and drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round.
Yes.
If you're a quarterback, you're going, wait. So one, you didn't draft a better wide receiver than the guy that went next. And then you drafted a quarterback that's eventually going to take my place. That's a terrible situation to be in.
When you're a young guy, too, it's not like Wentz was in the situation to where He was an older quarterback, and there needed to be a passing of the guard situation.
Exactly.
Wentz is a young guy. That is your franchise. So for you to treat him like that is terrible.
Right.
So then you think of putting Wentz in the situation of him being in a situation where a quarterback was just drafted, and it was more along the lines of waiting for him to screw up to put somebody in ahead of him, to where he'd be coming into a situation in Chicago where it's like, dude, we're all in on you, man.
Yeah, we want to win, and we see you do it.
Yeah.
But here's some numbers I saw. The Eagles had 20 drops this year, which was tied for 8th in the NFL. And then they were 19th ranked O-line and 22nd in rushing attempts. 22nd. And that's not even including, Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts taking off after they dropped back the pass. I don't see how any of this could be Carson Wentz's fault.
No, neither do I. And, we talk, obviously, there is some caveats to him, all the positives that we talk about with him coming.
Right.
The only thing that would scare me is we just talked about him, how his big contract may have played a part in him taking shots and stuff like that.
Right.
So the only thing that would scare me, two things that would scare me. One is he has had his knee problems and injuries, and we can't really I would hope that he could be healthy if we traded for him. And the second thing would be all the pressure there would be pressure on him.
Oh, yeah. Well,
with coming to Chicago.
If you're a quarterback for the Chicago Bears, there's always going to be pressure. But this guy was a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Eagles fans are ruthless. More ruthless than Chicago fans.
Absolutely. So the only thing that would make me nervous is obviously this is a must-have it, prove it year. Basically, Nagy and Pace are on one-year contracts.
Yeah.
So whatever these moves that they make are basically like their careers now.
Exactly.
So, I don't know what it would look like in Chicago Bears training camp if Carson Wentz came there, but I would hope they would make him feel relaxed and comfortable and not have that feeling of, hey, dude, our jobs are on the line if you don't perform well this year.
Yeah.
Which could lead to another 2020-like season from him. But I always try to look at the positives, and for me, would hope that Wentz would have a season like he did when he was leading his team to the Super Bowl before his injury.
Yeah.
And if you look at our team, we've talked about this, me and you, and the weapons that people don't really see that we have that I think is a positive for us. We have a legit running back in David Montgomery. We have two guys that proved that they could be on the offensive line this year, and you talked about how many sacks that Wentz took. And if we can go get another tackle, I think we're good legitly on offensive line with Whitehair, Bars, Mustipher, Daniels, and then whoever else.
Right.
And then if you can go and get Wentz, then in my opinion, you have to re-sign Allen Robinson. We've talked about that.
Well, now there's an incentive for him to come back. Hey, you know what? We got a better quarterback for you. That's going to get you the ball more.
Yes.
But you said legit running back and David Montgomery, which I think if you have a great running back or a good running back that gets you over 1,000 yards, that takes pressure off. And I think that's what Carson Wentz didn't have in Philly. It was just pressure that kept pushing in on him, and eventually we have too much pressure, it's just going to explode. And I think that's what happened to Carson Wentz in Philly, because he tried so hard and no one was getting open, and that's why his attitude changed from I love Philly to I need to get out of here.
Absolutely.
So I think it's going to be more of a mutual thing. Like, if you're not going to give me the help I need, I'm gone. And you know what? You know a quarterback that did that this offseason that was on a team that didn't give him any weapons, and he left to go to a better team that had better weapons and a better defense? The guy that's playing in the Super Bowl named Tom Brady.
Yes.
They had no weapons for him in New England. No. And you saw it in that divisional game against the Titans. He had no help. Oh, no, that was a wild card game. No help. And their defense was good. But if Tom Brady can't throw anyone that's getting open, then what's the point?
Absolutely.
Now he's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's going to lead us to our next topic. Super Bowl 55, the 55th Super Bowl. It's the defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, versus the GOAT, Tom Brady, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And usually you and I see the same page. We think a lot alike. But for maybe the second time ever on Sauce and Hench, we disagree.
Which is good. It makes for a good
Exactly. There's a lot of fans can decide for themselves which team they want. You are going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I can't go against you. Just said his name. I can't go against Tom yet.
And I'm going for the Kansas City Chiefs, which, if you know me, I cannot root for the guy that should be in a Bears uniform. It's hard for me to root because the more he gets better, the more stupid we look.
Yes.
You know? But I was looking at some numbers, and Joe, you have a legit good reason why the Bucs are going to walk away with the Lombardi Trophy tonight.
Yes, absolutely. I say I can't go against Tom Brady yet, but the reason for me is me and my dad have talked about this hundreds of times. How do you sit back and look at the Chiefs? How do you beat them? Because obviously they are just offensively legit as all anything. And for me, the way you beat the Chiefs, you have to keep up with them offensively. If they score a touchdown, you can't kick a field goal. You have to score a touchdown. But the one thing, the difference maker in the Chiefs is stops and takeaways. You have to at least get a takeaway or a string of stops to where you can put some scores on ahead of them and make it a 14-21-7 game rather than it be 7-7, 14-14.
Yeah, this Chiefs team does not make too many mistakes.
No. So, and the Buccaneers, man, they're the one defense that has a chance to stop this massacre. I don't even know. For some reason, the word's escaping me, but an onslaught of an offense, that's the word.
Yeah.
Is to where they can hurt you in so many ways to where it's like, okay, we'll double team Tariq deep. Well, then you have one of the best tight end deep, probably the best tight end in NFL.
Yeah.
And he's going to kill you in the short game.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, we also have two running backs. Like we didn't have enough offensive weapons yet.
Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
And Le'Veon's back there.
Yeah. So then you have two running backs who can catch and run out of the backfield.
Yeah.
So it's like the main thing for me in a defense is, especially this new age of football and how everything is operated with offensive high flying teams and everything, you have to have fast linebackers.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the Bucs linebackers, the Bucs have them.
Levante David's a monster.
Which for them, the reason I say against the Chiefs, you have to have fast linebackers against the rest of the NFL too, but mainly the Chiefs is because that helps you to where, okay, we don't have to send one of those guys back to cover Tariq, or we don't have to double team Kelsey because our linebackers are fast enough to get out and cover them. So that opens it up to where you don't have to double. Obviously, in certain situations, you will double team, but you don't have to double team as much as other teams were to put you in a bad situation. Then Mahomes kills you.
Yeah.
So for me, the reason I'm going with them is I think their defense has the best chance of getting mark my words, if the Bucs get one or two takeaways, the Bucs will win the game.
Okay.
That's going to be it for me. If the Bucs can get one or two turnovers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the Super Bowl. That's why.
What's your final score prediction then?
Final score prediction. It will be part of me I went back and forth. I keep telling my dad and my roommates as well that for some reason my gut instinct says it's going to be, for some reason it's going to shock all of us and it's going to be a low scoring game. But I'm not going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say it's going to be high scoring, and it will be 42-35.
Wow.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You're calling for fireworks tonight then.
Yes, and the difference will be it'll be an interception. That will be the difference maker in the game and the Bucs will take advantage and score a touchdown on it, and it'll be a touchdown difference between them.
Okay, so there it is. Joe going with Tampa Bay. So I guess it's my turn now.
Yeah, now it's your
to
turn
defend the Kansas City Chiefs, defending champions. Going into conference weekend, I was really high on the Buffalo Bills. I was like, you know what? The Bills are a really put together team. Their defense is great. Josh Allen looks really good. And Stephon Diggs is finally getting the role that he wanted when he was in Minnesota, now in Buffalo.
Yes.
And then, Pat Mahomes trolling on in with turf toe. I'm like, you know what? He's not going to be as mobile as he usually is. That's what he does. Like, Aaron Rodgers made that cool. Pat Mahomes does it better, though. Trying to yell in the pocket, scrambling, and finding Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce. And then they just absolutely destroyed him, even with turf toe. Like, what was the final score? I had it on here. It was like 38-26, leading close. The blowout.
Yeah.
All Chiefs, all the way through. And I'm sitting there on my couch going, wow. Like, who is going to stop them?
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone actually can. Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback, well, not best quarterback, best football player on the planet. It's not even close. I think, for me, the Chiefs' defense was also very underrated going into that game. They swarmed the ball. Wherever the ball went, there was 4 or 5 red jerseys. I couldn't even tell you one play where there wasn't a honey badger just creeping around looking to make the big play. And Josh Allen, I mean, he's not as talented as Brady was, but with Brady being a little bit older, he's not as agile as he used to be. For me, I think if the Chiefs go in there and put pressure on Brady, that's going to be the difference maker. Because Brady, as you saw, I don't know what his problem was against Green Bay, thought it was a good idea to throw off his back foot with pressure in his face and threw 3 interceptions. The only difference in that game was that, well, one, the defense held Aaron Rodgers after the turnovers, and that Matt LaFleur decided it's a good idea to kick a field goal instead of go for a fourth down with the now MVP, which is not confirmed as of last night. The Bucs have been in pretty close games too against Washington, which they were down to some guy on LinkedIn. Pretty sure that's how they found him. But at the end of the day, numbers don't matter. They don't. Not in the Super Bowl. Not in the Super Bowl. You can look at numbers all day long, make yourself sound smart.
Like all gut instinct.
Exactly. Like, oh, the Chiefs have the number 1 passing offense. I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, which quarterback is more clutch? And for me, it's going to be Pat Mahomes because I saw what he did last year. He trailed in every game and still won every game.
So Sauce is going with the passing of the guard this year.
I'm going with, you and I, big Bulls fans.
Yes.
1991 NBA Finals, Jordan won his first championship. Who did he beat? They considered the best player in the game, Magic Johnson.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be one of those passing of the torch moments where it's like, you know what? Brady's time has come and gone. He's, 42 years old.
60-something, I think.
It feels like at this rate. At this rate, yeah. At this rate, our kids will be watching him in the Super Bowl. But at what time do you say, you know what? It's time for someone else to be the face of the NFL and be considered the best quarterback. And as a Bears fan, I don't like to accept that Pat Mahomes is going to be the GOAT of football. But with him going to 2 straight Super Bowls and after tonight winning his 2nd Lombardi Trophy, I just can't argue that Pat Mahomes could potentially pass Brady as the best quarterback of all time.
Well, I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
I'm not either. But I think the difference is, yes, the Bucs have really fast linebackers, but Pat Mahomes is also very athletic and gifted. And you give them
the Bucs front line is pretty good.
Well, I know Dominic Sue's a monster.
Yes,
and
JPP.
You know which player I'm actually really scared of for Tampa Bay that no one really talking about is Leonard Fournette.
I was just about to say. I said the Bucs score how many touchdowns? 6 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
I will venture to say he will have 2 or 3 of them. His run against the Packers was prime Leonard Fournette. Yeah. That was like sometimes those running back runs get me more excited than a deep pass.
I agree.
Those like 20, 25-yard runs to where he's just rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, spin moving, doing everything.
The ground's shaking.
Yeah, like I love that. And I could totally see that being a difference maker in today's game to where Leonard Fournette just goes off.
Yeah.
People forget about him.
Yeah, he ran, for 93 yards, I believe it was, against the Saints in the divisional round.
And the Saints front line
pretty good.
Really good,
Pretty good, yeah, I agree. But at the end of the day, Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs is going to win 34-24 over Brady and the Bucs. And then Brady passes off the Lombardi. Says, all right, we'll do something I never got to do. Go win the third one in a row.
Buddy. No.
I'm telling you.
All right.
Pat Mahomes is going to be the Michael Jordan of football.
You think so?
He's just going to be a winning machine. No one's going to be able to stop him. It's going to get boring for him.
I could see that. I definitely could. And I know it's cliche to say it because you hear everybody say it all the time. In the end, I hope for a good game.
I agree. I don't like saying that either.
It's because everybody says it.
We flash back to 2 years ago when the Rams only managed to score 6 points.
And look at that game. Everybody thought it was going to be
a high-scoring game.
Yeah. Well, the Rams offense is so high-flying, blah, blah, blah. And look what happened. And that could totally happen tonight.
My prediction was like Rams 38 and the Patriots 34. And it ended up being like a 17-6 game.
And that could totally happen tonight.
Well, and also another argument I had is last year the Chiefs played the best defense I've seen in a long time. The 49ers, with their front, they were scary.
Yeah.
Like, Nick Bosa was a monster all year.
DeForest Buckner.
DeForest Buckner was on the team still. He's now with the Colts.
Yeah.
And then their linebacking core is really good, too.
And they had Sherman.
Richard Sherman. He's not as locked down as he used to be, but he's still good.
Still, yeah.
He's still a veteran presence for that
team.
But last year, the Chiefs still scored 31 points on that defense.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying the Bucs defense is worse. I'm not saying they're as good. So I still think the Chiefs can still squeak by 30 points like you predicted.
Yeah, I definitely think they can. And like I said, I think it's going to come down to a turnover. Whoever gets the turnover.
And
Brady
threw 3 2 weeks ago.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I do, like you brought up those 3 interceptions. One of them, I went back and watched that game too, just to look at it before a podcast today, because I had a feeling you'd bring up his 3 picks.
Right.
If you look up if you watch the 3 picks, I'll give you one of his picks was on him, but 2 of them were on the receivers. Somebody didn't do something that they were supposed to when he threw the ball. Because I don't care what anybody says. Brady does not make those throws without thinking something else is going on.
The only time you ever had a senior moment when they were playing the Bears and forgot it was 4th down.
Yeah, and what were the Bears that made us 4-1 or 3-1?
Something to get our hopes up.
Something we're like, man, we're winning ugly, but who cares? Anyway, but I'm excited for tonight. This is like so many people. One of the main reasons I really, really want the Buccaneers to win is just because I'm tired of the Tom Brady haters. Like,
I agree.
I would love nothing more for him to go out there and win it and show everybody who's ever said, you're a system quarterback.
So you're not a Mexican guy?
No. No. He's a system quarterback. He owes everything to Belichick. Well, if he goes out and wins that tonight, he showed you that he's –
If Brady goes out and wins his 7th ring.
7.
If he wins his 7th ring in 10 Super Bowl appearances, there's no way that anyone can ever dispute that Tom Brady is not the undisputed GOAT of football.
Yes. And the other thing about it is people say, well, look at his weapons or something here. Everybody always has something to say. But to me, it's even more impressive because he went from a system in the Patriot system to where it was like there was short passes and take what they can give you, which is smart.
Yeah.
But in this system, Arians even said it's built on the big plays that they make and everything along those lines.
Bruce Arians even said, he goes, there's sometimes I don't even coach. He's like, top guy just takes over.
Yeah.
That's what's scary.
And that's one of the main reasons I'd love for him to just go out and shut everybody up, win a 7th ring at 42 years old with a team that's total opposite of what he's been used to his whole career. So, but I've always loved him. I always liked the guy. I can understand how, I guess, Colts fans could be mad at him and stuff like that, or whoever.
I think in all fairness, every team hates Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's a winner. That's what it is. People hated Jordan, Kobe, LeBron for the same reasons because they're winners. I still like LeBron.
They beat your teams all the time.
Exactly what it is.
Yes.
I have family that are Steeler fans. So, of course, they don't like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I have friends that are Steeler fans. Don't care for Tom Brady. Colts fans, obviously. We live in the state of Indiana. Don't like Tom Brady because of what he did to Peyton Manning. You cost Peyton Manning how many championship rings in Indianapolis, you know?
So, who is your MVP?
Super Bowl MVP?
Well, I'm assuming you're going to say Mahomes.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Mahomes, or I could potentially see it being Tyreek Hill because what he did a couple months ago, I think.
Well, he had something like 300 yards in the
first
half.
He had like 200 yards by the end of the first half.
I was watching that game with my dad. I was just like, Whatever.
But the scary part for me as going for the Chiefs today is that game only ended up with 3 points.
Yeah.
That's what's scary for me. It's like, oh man, the Chiefs kind of threw everything they had at them and still only won by 3 points. What's going to happen if the Bucs come in full strength right now? Because they are on a string of wins since that loss. That's their last loss with the Chiefs.
Yes.
They won 4 straight games to close out the year, and then 3 straight playoff games.
They so you say either you said either
Mahomes or Tyreek Hill.
Gotcha. So I'm going to say for mine, I want to make sure I get his name right. There's no way that's him.
Is it the cornerback that always gets interceptions?
No.
No, not that guy?
Young kid. Okay, got his name now. I messed it up. You said it earlier, and I thought it was that guy, but I screwed it up. I got his name right. It's either 1 or 2 players for me.
Okay.
You got to name 2, I get to name 2.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
It's either going to be Leonard Fournette.
Okay.
Or I'm pretty sure the first person since Von Miller to do it. I'm going to pick Devin White, the linebacker.
Oh, Devin White.
22-year-old. I love him. I like the kid a lot.
As a guy that played linebacker, can never go wrong with a good linebacker.
Yes. He had a big game against who was it after they played the Saints. My bad. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. He had a huge game against the Saints. He created turnovers, and he's going to create a turnover tonight, whether it be forcing a fumble, picking off. He picked off Breeze in the game in that game, which basically sealed the game for the Bucs then.
Right.
He's going to have some defensive play, or Leonard Fournette's going to score 2 or 3 touchdowns and rush for 100-something yards, and that's going to be the MVP.
Okay.
I want to go with somebody that's not Brady, but
I was going to say Brady somehow didn't sneak up on there, but we all know no matter how the game goes, if the Bucs win, it's going to be Brady.
Yeah, if the Bucs win, Brady will be the MVP.
Exactly.
But in my heart,
you got to go with the
one of
linebacker.
those two.
As wearing a Bears sweatshirt, I think it's only fair you pick a linebacker because that's what we're known for.
I had to wear the Bears sweatshirt.
But before we close out this episode, there's one thing I do want to say is please go vote Zach LaVine for the All-Star game.
Oh, my gosh.
Please.
Yes.
I feel like I'm the biggest supporter of this right now. I feel like I'm running the campaign for Zach LaVine. I posted on Sauce and Hench maybe 4 or 5 times already. I voted for him twice already. No, 3 times. I'm hoping you're doing the same thing. He's 5th in guards right now, and he scored 39 last night against Orlando.
27, 5, and 5.
Yeah, and he's actually going to steal a game.
Yeah.
But go vote for Zach LaVine if you're a true Chicago fan. He deserves to go. It's long overdue.
Please, 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 please.
I know it's a complete 180 what we're talking about today, but it just feels very important to include Zach LaVine on here.
Okay. Do we want to talk about, while we're on the Super Bowl, do we want to talk about any of the wagers or just our thoughts on any of the more fun stuff for the Super Bowl or what?
I'm super excited for the halftime show.
So am I.
I love The Weeknd.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
I think he'll put on a good show.
He spent $7 million of his own dollars to get the halftime show that he wanted, which I'm like, this guy has had how many hits come out since he became a thing?
Yeah.
It's insane. And he said that my family and I even enjoy him because he sounds like an 80 type vibe. And if you know, you and I are the same way. We're very old souls when it comes to music. And 80s music is the best music ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
halftime show, we both agree. We think it's going to be, I hope it'll be good.
Exactly.
I think it'll be good. Commercials, I'm hoping it's good this year.
The Disney Plus already announced they're going to have a couple. I'm hoping.
If you're nerding out like me and Mile are about Marvel or anything like that. They should be releasing some and commercials and halftime show. So we'll see how it is.
I just hope they have some funny ones. I remember my favorite Super Bowl ever was Super Bowl 43. Doritos just went all out that year. That was the best one.
Their Doritos commercials are always usually kill it.
Exactly. And you know, you and I had a fun time at the halftime show last year.
Oh yeah.
I still have that pop up on my phone. I just get a laugh every time.
Well, I know a lot of people are into betting and stuff this year, and it just became legal in Indiana.
Well, we're also college athletes, so we talk about betting on here. We
can't bet, but I know we can't. But I know a lot of family members that are definitely getting ready to time out that national anthem to see if it's under or over 2 minutes.
Who's singing the national anthem today?
I don't know the woman's name, but I know Eric Church is in it, so I think that might slow it down to definitely get over.
He's definitely gonna play his guitar.
Eric Church is a slow,
but he's also a good singer.
He is a good singer.
Exactly.
Definitely a good singer. But,
well, you and I are gonna be together.
Yeah.
Watching off the projector.
Yes.
Chiefs and Bucks. Super Bowl 55. It's gonna be a ride.
We will see. Book it to see who's right, Sauce or Hench.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a division of the room. It'll be like an elephant in the room. You know, what you on one side, me on the other, and with both of us like to get a little loud for football.
So before we end this, do we want to make any friendly bets on, obviously not money, but
okay.
I got. Do we make any wagers on?
I got one. If the Chiefs win,
oh, I already know.
You got to go to class wearing a Cubs jersey.
Oh, buddy.
If the Bucks win, I'll go to class wearing a Sox jersey.
Oh, buddy. All right.
That's on the line. And knowing me is going to end up like Super Bowl 48 when the Broncos got beat by 35 points. That's going to be me. Like, the Chiefs are going to get beat by 35. And I'm going to be like, oh, well, might as well go get your jersey and bring it on down, and I'll get ready to wear it tomorrow to my 9 a.m.
Oh, well, I have my Aloy jersey.
That's even worse.
I know.
Former Cubs player. That's wrong, man. You're ruthless.
All right. So we got
So don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Share with others.
Yes.
Get the fan base going. Go like our
we
Twitter.
Have a good time on here. We have a good time.
Always.
Go
on Twitter. Follow us. It's Sauce and Hench, but also Joe Milo 2 is the @. That's the real name. Like it, share it, let everyone know that that's a good place for Chicago sports news and just sports news in general. Any final thoughts before we close out this episode?
Enjoy the Super Bowl tonight. Enjoy Brady taking a 7th ring home and shove it in Sauce's face. Enjoy it.
He's gonna record me going to the class with the Sox jersey on. I already know it.
I don't want to knock on wood. I don't want to jinx myself because I don't want to wear that blue and
But
red.
I have to agree with Hench down there. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have a great old time with loved ones or family.
Especially
or
after this past year, man. Just enjoy it. Everything.
You need to enjoy the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I'll never take another football season for granted again.
Any sports season.
Yeah.
At all.
Exactly. Especially baseball.
Yeah. So enjoy it. And like Sauce said, with loved ones, if you're around them, whether it be Zoom, FaceTime, whatever it is, enjoy the Super Bowl with them. It's such an American United States sort of thing.
So
it's a Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a football fan, you watch it. So enjoy it.
I will say that this is probably the biggest Chicago sports talk show since Bill Swarsky and the Superfans.
I definitely think so. I can't wait till our statues are outside Chicago.
Exactly. We can be debating the Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, how about them Bears?
How about them Bears?